topic of the day, sponsored by Burger King. The 3 for $3 deal is here only at BK. All right, guys, the Athletics. Bob McGinn covered the Packers for 38 years, and he had some interesting insights on why Green Bay could have drafted quarterback Jordan Love. McGinn writes that Matt LaFleur may have drafted another QB because he, quote, simply had enough of Aaron Rodgers' act. McGinn continued saying that the Packers wouldn't want Rodgers to, quote, become even more difficult to coach. Skip, are you buying this?
Shannon Sharp.
Yes.
I hate to say I told you so, but I did. Again and again and again. I was the lone wolf out on my island, Bayless Island, saying, time out. He's not what he used to be. The last 3 years, his stats have said declining, declining, declining. Last year, this past season, while they went 13-3 and they won a bunch of games where you said, how did they win that? I'm not sure. The other Aaron Jones, was more valuable than Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers had his career low QBR, scale of 0 to 100. He had a 54. Not good. His completion percentage last year was 21st in the NFL. Not good. And apparently, the two men who now run the Green Bay Packers are seeing exactly what I've been saying and seeing. Gutekunst, the GM, LaFleur, the young head coach, are just saying, no, we've got to get out from under this because we're getting sick and tired of not only his production, but his attitude. And remember, Bob McGinn is the guru on this. Almost 40 years covering the Packers, the ultimate authority, the man who knows where all the bodies are buried, who knows the team from the inside out, is writing what I'm sure he's being told from the inside out, that young LaFleur is just saying, I had a year of him, and I'm just tired of the act. As McGinn calls it, the passive-aggressive act, which, what do I always say? Aaron Rodgers is the LeBron James of the NFL. Passive-aggressive. That's what we always hear about LeBron. Cryptic tweets, IG posts, little quotes to the media, Aaron via his radio gig. What's he mean by that? It's blame deflecting, finger pointing. It's diva act that LaFleur and probably Gutekunst, who obviously hired LaFleur, they're getting sick and tired of it. They're stuck with a huge contract, and it's going to be very difficult to get out from under it. But they wanted to create new leverage with Aaron. They want to make him more manageable. So what did they do? They drafted the hottest X-Factor property on the draft market, Jordan Love. I told you, I have no idea. I didn't watch him enough to have a big, bold opinion, a yes or a no. Bob McGinn's research said more no than yes, and he knows a lot of people around the league and does a lot of great work pre-draft. So Bob McGinn's not sold on Jordan Love, but he's sold on the premise that the Packers are saying no to Aaron Rodgers. So the premise for next year, according to a report in the Milwaukee Sentinel, Journal Sentinel, is that they're going to go to the big banger. They're going to go to the kid they drafted in the second round, A.J. Dillon, Boston College, 250 pounds, ran 4.5 at the combine. The next Derrick Henry, let's let him pound the rock. He's a straight-ahead banger. He's not a make-you-miss. He just punishes a defense and wears it down. And to do that, as we saw with Derrick Henry down the stretch with Ryan Tannehill, they took the ball out of Tannehill's hands for the most part and put it in Derrick Henry's, and he just beat defenses to a pulp and into submission. I think that's where the Packers are headed next year as they try to develop Jordan Love. So in the end, Bob McGinn sums it up by saying he gives the Packer quarterback a big grade every year, and he is a tough grader. And his point was he was giving Brett Favre much higher grades before they drafted Aaron Rodgers than he has been giving Aaron before they drafted Jordan Love, because Aaron got what he called pedestrian grades the last 2. He was C+, C+ the last 2 years, B the year before. Brett Favre was B+, B+, B in the 3 years before they went to Aaron Rodgers. So he's saying, wait a second, they do need a new quarterback. Maybe it's not Jordan Love, but they needed somebody, and now they think they've got a hold over Aaron Rodgers, more leverage, where they can say, well, if you don't like it, lump it, we'll just play the kid. So, again, in decline, I've been telling you, and I think I'm right about this one.
Skip Bayless. Boy, I love Skip Bayless. Boy, Skip Bayless, I love you like a cousin. But you will not tell the truth for the life of you when it comes to Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. Now, Skip Bayless would have you believe that Aaron Rodgers has dropped off a cliff. Now, Aaron Rodgers dropped off a cliff. Tom Brady is still in the prime of his career. Aaron Rodgers' QBR was higher than Tom Brady's. Aaron Rodgers' completion percentage was higher than Tom Brady's. Aaron Rodgers' touchdown to interception was better than Tom Brady. Yet Aaron Rodgers plunged headfirst over the cliff. Tom Brady is still ascending. I'm confused. You keep talking about Aaron Rodgers, he can't do it anymore. How about this? In the Mason Crossbar game that you keep talking about, Skip Bayless, he was 355 yards and 34 points. In the Dad's Odell boat trip, 362 and 4 touchdowns. And in the Dad's Caught It game, he had 3 TDs, 316, and he ran out the clock. And the reason why y'all didn't get that catch is because of what happened in the Hail Mary game. You remember the Hail Mary game? Not the Hail Mary. Yeah, the original Hail Mary. Drew Pearson pushed off. Somebody upstairs never forgot about that, and he was just waiting for the right time to pay you guys back. Now, that being said, Skip Bayless, and you keep saying Aaron Rodgers, in Aaron Rodgers' last 7 losses, his last 7 playoff losses, his defense averages giving up 34 points a game. In 41 career playoff games, Tom Brady's defense has given up 34 points twice. They gave up 41 in the Super Bowl, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 38 in the AFC Championship game against the Colts. Let that sink in for just a second, folks. In 2 games in 41, Tom Brady's defense has given up 34 points or more. In 2, Aaron Rodgers has had that in the last 7 playoff losses. What? Skip Bayless, and you talking about they're operating under the same apparatus. Aaron Rodgers has thrown 1 touchdown pass in his career to a receiver or a tight end that was selected in the first round. Let that sink in for just a second, people at home. And Skip Bayless telling you this man is washed up. Skip, now look, do they have Aaron Rodgers? They wanted his attention. I believe they have his undivided attention by selecting him. But he knows he's not going anywhere. He's like, what y'all gonna do? Cut me? I appreciate it. And I'll go right to the Bears and beat the brakes off y'all every single year if you force me to. I don't want to leave, but if you force me to, I will. Skip, he knows they can't do anything right now. He's therefore at the bare minimum, he's there 2 years, probably 3. But this notion that Aaron Rodgers has somehow cliff dived while Tom Brady is ascending in a paraglide, Skip, that's not true, and you know it. That's why Tom Brady dipped, because he's like, I ain't got no talent here. Let me go link up with Mike Evans. Let me go link up with Chris Godwin, Cameron Brake, O.J. Howard. No, if you the GOAT, you don't run. Skip Bayless told me GOATs don't run. See, that's the one thing I don't like about LeBron. He ran to Miami, linked up with D. Wade, who showed him how to win. Your guy waited, and now look at it. He ran faster leaving New England to get to Tampa than he did at the Combine, Skip Bayless. And we know how god-awful slow and how bad he looked running at the Combine. But, boy, he did like a 4-4, getting up out of New England to go to the warm weather in Tampa and get with those receivers. Stop it, Skip. You know better.
You know, I love how when you're losing a debate on Aaron Rodgers, you have to bring in other names. So this time you've reached for Tom Brady. Tom Brady is 7 years older than Aaron Rodgers. 7 years older. Tom Brady did not have Devontae Adams. Do you know who Devontae Adams is? You ever watch him? He is a stud. Yes. He is a Pro Bowl receiver, and Aaron did have him last year. And Jimmy Graham's still pretty good, and he did have him last year. And Valdez-Scantling, every time I look up, he's making a big catch. I know he wasn't a high pick, but he makes plays. He's a big, tall, strong receiver. And, again, Tom Brady didn't have Devontae last year. And Aaron Rodgers hasn't had a coach trying to push him out the back door for the last 4 years the way Belichick completely disrespected and mistreated Tom Brady over the last 4 years. He didn't have that. So now you're trying to compare Aaron's situation to Brady's. And, yeah, Brady got pushed out the back door and finally said, okay, I'm going on 43 years of age. So I'm going to take my talents to to Tampa Bay, and I'm going to show you, Belichick, I can get to a Super Bowl before